watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
Tonight at 10, 3 people are in custody suspected of 2 Greene County home invasions. Hello again, everybody. I'm David Oliver. Jennifer's off tonight. The prosecutor charged John Pendergrass and Nicole Smith. A juvenile is also being held tonight. Deputies say the suspects were first chased out of a home on South Clifton Street yesterday. Another robbery happened just blocks away on South Cottage. Color 10's Matt Lapoli is following up on the story tonight. Matt?
David, Sheriff Arnott called these invasions crimes of opportunity because the suspects entered the homes through garage doors. One was partially open. They found the remote to the other in an unlocked car. Arnott also said the suspects could face more charges. Police department detectives are looking into whether they may be behind several other crimes in Springfield.
They could be facing a pretty long time in prison.
Greene County Sheriff Jim Arnott announced Tuesday that 2 adults, John Pendergrass and Nicole Smith, and a juvenile were arrested in connection with 2 early Monday morning home invasions.
Oh, good Lord. I guess God was with me. I scared them and they didn't have time to do anything, you know.
Sandra Stephen found 2 men rummaging through her prescriptions. Not far from her home, deputies say the thieves struck again. Arnott says in the second crime, the suspects grabbed guns from the victim's garage and pointed them at a resident.
We're able to recover 1 weapon so far that was linked to one of these 2 invasions.
Arnott says the sheriff's office worked alongside the Springfield Police Department because detectives there were already working multiple similar cases.
The detectives, once we worked this case, were able to piece it together with information that they heard, collaborated with the Springfield police detectives, where they put the names together of who they were looking for.
The crimes in Springfield are still under investigation, according to officers, including a weekend robbery at the Mexican Villa restaurant, which police officers say is similar. Surveillance from the restaurant also shows a vehicle like the one used in the home invasions, though no definitive connection has yet been made.
Both our departments have intelligence meetings, so we share information back and forth.
For the home invasion cases, Arnott commended his deputies and the police officers who assisted for a fast turnaround.
We had everything kind of come together fairly quick.
A key takeaway here, the Springfield Police Department is still investigating the similar cases, so no official connections have been made for those open investigations. The restaurant Mexican Villa is still offering a $1,000 reward for information in that crime.
All right, Matt, thanks so much tonight as well. New at 10, an emergency shelter is open now for people who need a warm place to stay on this very cold night. The Salvation Army's facility is, of course, over on West Chestnut Expressway at Kansas Expressway. Visitors will get a cot to sleep on, a hot breakfast, and a shower. So far this year, 100 people have used that shelter on various cold nights. Cold air is not the only problem we have. Dry air is too. There have been many grass fires now across the Ozarks, and the Logan-Rogersville Fire Protection District responded to that blaze you just saw there just before 3 this morning.
We've had a really cold winter, and so the vegetation, the fine fuels, grasses, and leaves are a lot drier than normal. And last night's fire was a result of somebody dumping their ashes out. Then we had a wind shift overnight, which blew it into the woods.
Several counties in Arkansas have burn bans in place now, including Boone County. And with more on the dry, cold, bitterly cold weather, we want to turn over to Jamie in the Weather Lab.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen this past winter. Is we've seen numerous Arctic invasions, and Arctic air typically is very, very, very dry in nature. And every time we get one of these air mass exchanges, whether it be from warm to cold or cold to warm, that also oftentimes is accompanied by some wind, like we had last night when that Arctic air mass moved in. We had wind gusts over 30 miles per hour, approaching 40 miles per hour. So that combination of fuels, dry air, and then lots of wind, and you get that concern for fires. Certainly we felt the cold today. Temperatures stay managing to warm only to about 24 for a high here in Springfield. We've sort of bottomed out this evening, and we've been generally steady in the middle and upper teens across much of the area. And I don't think we're going to go a lot lower from where we are right now. In fact, temperatures may actually slowly rise as we approach sunrise on Wednesday. There's a little bit of snow out there, believe it or not. We've got a little snow streaking across Phelps County into the Raleigh area, and some of this is going to make its way into Salem as well here over the next, say, half hour. So your Wednesday forecast looks a little bit better than today's forecast. We'll have the sun, and we'll have temperatures going above freezing, but another intense bout of cold on the way. More on that coming up.
Jamie, thanks. Making political news here at 10 tonight. Education, mental illness, and Medicaid. Those are some of the topics the governor wants to focus on in this next legislative session. He outlined those themes during tonight's State of the State address. Lindsay Klein is here to show what else the governor said.
David, Governor Nixon addressed education first, saying his budget includes nearly $500 million additional dollars for it. He wants more technology, smaller class sizes, and well-prepared teachers. His budget increases funding for K-12 classrooms and puts additional dollars behind the Access Missouri Scholarship Program so students from low-income families can get the financial aid they need. Governor Nixon also wants to reauthorize the Missouri RX program to prevent more than 200,000 seniors and Missourians with disabilities from paying more for prescriptions. He says he wants to improve and reform Medicaid to bring affordable health coverage to working families.
Now, we all know there are problems with Obamacare, and Washington's implementation of it has been abysmal. Yeah, but rejecting Medicaid won't fix any of those things. It won't keep Missourians from having to pay federal taxes, folks. It won't exempt our business from new requirements under that law, okay? Now, instead, by standing still, we're just making sure the things we don't like about Obamacare are even worse, forcing Missourians to bear all the costs of this law and reap none of the benefits.
Republicans countered with the need to reform Missouri's tax code, saying we need to lower taxes on businesses and farmers and reduce regulation.
The legislature will continue the fight for smaller, more efficient government that will empower the people of Missouri. Together with the Senate, we will continue to push back against the overreaching hands of the federal government and the continued attempts by our executive branch to violate the privacy rights of Missouri citizens. We will, however, need our governor to work with us rather than against us. Just as the people of this state need government to stop erecting barriers to progress, we need the governor to stop standing in our way as we work to tear these roadblocks down.
We spoke to political analyst Brian Calfano following the State of the State address, who talked about the two sides and their differing views on Medicaid expansion.
But where you see the Republicans and Nixon diverge really are on those issues like Medicaid. This is where you see Washington come into Jeff City and Jeff City politicians trying to play on this larger stage and talking about an issue that has federal and state implications but gets decided mainly at the federal level, because that's what Obamacare's so-called ACA, that's where it is. That's where it's been decided.
And Nixon also focused on the need to improve support for mental health treatment throughout the state, David.
We'll be watching during the session. Lindsay, thanks. A pro-marijuana group tonight wants Missourians to vote on legalizing cannabis. Secretary of State's office recently approved 13 petitions from Dan Viets, a criminal attorney and chairman of the group Show Me Cannabis. It is conducting a poll now to see if there's enough support. If so, supporters will then try to gather more than 157,000 signatures by May 4th for that to be on your ballot in November. Now, proponents say a tremendous amount of new revenue is going to be generated by the state, for the state of Missouri, by taxing marijuana commerce. Opponents argue, though, there will be an increase in crime, and they worry about the health impact, too. In medical coverage here at 10 tonight, in 1 week, flu cases have gone up by 20% here in Greene County. The health department reports 135 new cases last week, and the age group of 25 to 49 was the most impacted. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention puts Missouri in the widespread flu category. Now, that means more than 50% of the counties are reporting flu activity. Opponents vowed to keep fighting despite a judge's order allowing construction of a power company's transmission line. As we first told you on Friday, an administrative law judge in Arkansas approved Southwest Electric Power Company's plan to build a high voltage line. It would span 56 miles through northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. That judge recommends a route which crosses into southern Missouri for about 25 miles. The project would involve clearing out a 150-foot wide path for the line and installing 150-foot tall towers. Opponents say the effects are going to be massive.
Primarily, it's going to be first what you see. You're going to be looking at a 150-foot wide, clear-cut pathway over, through, and between the hills. The Ozarks, they're the oldest continually exposed mountains of North America. We are home to 160 or more endangered, threatened species. Now, building the construction of it and operation of this line poses a threat to that.
And the group Save the Ozarks plans to appeal that judge's ruling and has to do so by February 17th. And the Arkansas Public Service Commission and SWEPCO said the project is necessary for the additional power needs of the region and to solve overload on existing transmission lines.
According to the last 2 or 3 years, 5 years, we're looking at certainly an increase in the need.
Taney County has a demand for food that it really can't supply right now. We'll tell you more about why the need is increased and what can be done to meet it. We invite you to meet up with us on Facebook. Be our friend. Find the Facebook icon on ozarksfirst.com, then just like our page. Tonight, new at 10 here on Color 10 News. Demand for food assistance in Taney County is skyrocketing and food pantries just can't keep up. Laura Kennedy went to the Christian Action Ministries food pantry in Branson today to find out what can be done. Laura?
Well, requests for food assistance in Taney County went up by 32% last year, and that puts a strain on the resources of those food pantries in Branson and Forsyth. But workers are concerned that this increase is just the beginning. This food pantry volunteer is busy, filling grocery bags for Branson families in need. A record amount of this food left the warehouse in 2013, 625,000 pounds of green beans, turkey, and other essentials. Some staple items that go in the bags with the families include peanut butter and cereal. In a day, they could give away 60 to 80 jars of peanut butter. Betty Craig has volunteered here at Christian Action Ministries food pantry for 4 years.
See a lot of hardship.
She's noticed not only more families coming through the doors, but also new faces.
It's hard to see some of them struggling when you get say 70 families in one day.
The amount of food requested rose 32% over the 2012 numbers, and that year was already record-setting, having an increase of 52% over 2011 demand.
It's just escalating each year.
Executive Director Pat Davis cites increased cost of living and reductions in the food stamp program as possible causes.
Because of that and the lack of work right now, they're having really a difficult time.
But Davis is worried that this is not just a short-term issue.
According to the last 2 or 3 years, we're looking at certainly an increase in the need.
Davis hopes donations can keep up with demand to make sure that these shelves are always stocked for those who rely on them. And the folks over at Christian Action Ministries would like to thank the members of the community who donated the food and funds for those in need. And CAM is also a partner of Ozarks Food Harvest in Springfield.
All right, Laura, thanks so much. Jamie's back with a check on the chilly weather moving in.
Yeah, we've seen our first round already. Tomorrow we get a little bit of a break, and then the next round comes our way on Thursday. That one looking more intense than today's cold. But the weekend, what about the weekend? Well, if you like the last few weekends, I think if you do, then you're going to like this coming weekend. Details coming up.
And now weather with Color 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
All right, well, this has certainly been one of those months where you just don't know from day to day what the weather's going to be like. At least the temperatures are going to be like. We've seen these wide fluctuations really going back to the beginning of the month. Now, the first week and a half, it was generally cold and generally colder than normal. But since then, we've seen generally above normal temperatures, if you can believe it. The reason why it may be hard to believe is because interspersed in there, we've also seen some very cold days. Last week we had a couple of bouts of that. Today we had a bout of it, and then on Thursday we're going to have another bout of it, of cold air. And it's just sitting up in Canada, chunks of it dropping south of the border into the lower 48. The latest wave of it making its way across the eastern U.S. The next wave of it, well, it's gathering strength right now, and it will drop south here over the next 24 hours. In the meantime, conditions are pretty quiet. We got a little bit of light snow streaking across some of our northeastern counties like Phelps County, and some of that moving into Dent County now. Maybe some flurries there. We also have this snowstorm, pretty big snowstorm at that, across parts of the middle Atlantic into the northeastern U.S. The big cities, even D.C., getting some snow out of this one. That storm should be gone here in the next 12 to 24. Now, as far as what we can expect over the next 24 hours, quiet night tonight. Temperatures, I think they're pretty much where they're going to be as far as lows, mid to upper teens. I think what will happen is as winds become more southwesterly overnight tonight, we're going to see those temperatures slowly rising into the low to mid-20s to start off the day on Wednesday. And tomorrow will be a little bit better. It looks like with mostly sunny conditions and ahead of that Arctic front, we should manage to warm into the middle and upper 30s. But that Arctic front will arrive Wednesday night. With it, we'll see another round of wind, and we'll also see another round of intense cold on Thursday. In fact, on Thursday, temperatures are going to tumble big time. 36 for a high tomorrow. Looks like 18 for a high on Thursday. And wind chills early on in the day, at least minus 10, and maybe as low as minus 15 to minus 20, and only warming into the single digits during the afternoon hours. And this pattern, if you're hoping that we'll see a more extended period of warmth, well, you're not going to find it in this pattern. With that trough in place, locked in across the eastern U.S., we're going to continue to find these bouts of cold as chunks of Arctic air descend south across the area. Now, at least they don't last terribly long. We see the bout of cold move in, and then it moves out, and things will warm up for a period. And we're going to see that this weekend. Starting Friday, temperatures will moderate. And then Saturday and Sunday, temperatures actually will be above normal for this time of the year, in the 40s on Saturday and then 50s on Sunday. The pattern does look like it may readjust a little bit by the end of next week, going into the first week of February, but maybe not in the direction that we want. A lot of the model runs are indicating that we may see more of a western and plains trough develop, similar to what we had back in December. And that would continue this cold pattern and also bring the stormier weather back to the area as well. Temperatures tonight, again, sort of leveled out where they are. They'll slowly rise, I think, by sunrise. We'll see highs in the middle and upper 30s north of the state line, and at least to 40, I think, south of the state line in northern Arkansas. There are your temperatures through the end of the week. There's that pop in temperatures over this weekend, but just like yesterday's warmth or this past weekend's warmth, it won't last. Looks like another round of cold coming our way for Monday into Tuesday of next week, when highs will likely not make it above freezing both days.
But the weekend's not too bad. That's the nice thing there.
Yeah, and that's the only thing we can be thankful for. That, and maybe the fact that we don't have, half a foot of snow on the ground too to go along with the cold.
That we're getting closer to spring.
There we go. Every day that goes by, we're getting a little closer. Let's pop up that Viewers Club number for you. Folks that are waiting for that, 142-019. The Viewers Club number this evening, 142-019. The jackpot up to $1,400.
Okay, Jamie, thanks.
Brown gives it to him with a three.
Well, the Mizzou Tigers were looking for a road win in Bayou Country tonight. Dan Lucy's coming up in sports with highlights from LSU and the Q.
And now, Color 10 Sports with Dan Lucy.
The Missouri State Bears just ended a tough 3-game stretch against the top 3 teams in the Valley. The Bears went 0-3. In our Bear Nation report, Paul Luskin has renovated Bears, hoping to snap that 3-game losing skid against Evansville. And it was Color 10 night at the Q. What a handsome group of people at center court. Bears off to a quick start. Emmanuel Adu with the step-back 15-footer to make it a 4-4 game. Then the nice pass to Austin Reuter, the handoff to make it a 3-pointer to make it a 7-6 game. Evansville on a run, though. The Valley's leading scorer is DJ Ballantyne. He hits the 3, it was 13-7. Then Ballantyne feeds the Lithuanian Egidius Muskejevis for the dunk. Easy for you to say, 17-11. Missouri State with the defense, Ron Mavikwa with the steal, and he goes in for the hoop. He's the Valley Newcomer of the Week. It was a 2-point game. Dorian Williams with the nice feed of Jamar Gully. He gets the hoop, 23-18 aces. Missouri State with a late first half rally. Gavin Thurman with the 3 to make it a 34-32 aces lead at halftime. But Missouri State would rally in the second half. Jamar Gully opens it with this scoop shot. The Bears were on top by 1. Then Gully with this 3, 44-40. Gully a double-double, 26 points, 12 rebounds. And then later Austin Reuter with the alley-oop to Christian Kirk for the dunk. Bears hold off a tough Evansville team, 64-61.
Very pleased with our effort. It's never easy against Evansville. We had 5 guys out there that have never played Evansville before. And I asked each one of them after the game, how'd you like guarding that stuff? Ron had a very interesting answer. I'm not going to repeat, but I thought we really guarded them and did some good things.
Hopefully he's spoken French. Mizzou basketball coach Frank Haith announced that St. Louis native Cameron Beedscheid will join the Tigers and be eligible after the first semester of next season. Beedscheid transferred from Notre Dame. He averaged 32 points, 10 rebounds a game his senior season at Cardinal Ritter. Mizzou could have used him tonight. Tigers looking for an SEC road win at LSU. LSU Tigers Johnny O'Brien III with the J. LSU was on top 7-2. Mizzou's Jordan Clarkson with the 3-pointer right here would tie the game up at 10. But LSU would answer with Siobhan Coleman. He would get this 3 from the low corner to make it 18-10 LSU. Mizzou then would go on a run. Jabari Brown, the 3-pointer from the far side to make it a 1-point game. And then Tony Criswell would go inside with the reverse layup to tie the game up at 26. Jabari Brown's 3 here would give Mizzou a 29-26 lead. He had a career-high 28 points, but it wasn't enough. LSU would hang in there. Jordan Mickey would get the basket here. LSU would go on to win 77-71. The Missouri State Lady Bears wanted to sweep their 2-game homestand and hit the road with some Valley momentum, but that did not happen last night. Northern Iowa rallied in the second half to win 68-60. Panthers attacking the Lady Bears with a 3-point barrage. UNI shooting 28 3-pointers in the game, connecting on 13 of them. That's a new JQH Arena record. Lady Bears lost the lead early in the second half, could not catch the Panthers. Lady Bears fall to 7-9 overall, 2-3 in the Valley. Next up, a trip to Terre Haute to face first-place Indiana State.
I think our effort was there. I just think that we had a couple of slip-ups that we couldn't afford. Had we stopped a couple of those, we would have won that game.
Really hyped up on a really good win, but we got to finish the weekend, or the 2 games in the week. Just little things right now, and definitely fix a few and move on.
All right, let's go to the Nixa taking on Waynesville. This game was at Rogersville. It was making up a snow out. Waynesville off to a quick start, run and gun. Juwan Morgan to Joe Johnson in the corner. Tigers up 3-0. Same play, the other side of the floor. Morgan to Johnson with the hot hand. That would put Waynesville up 6-0, but Nixa wouldn't back down. Bryce Doolin finds Chase Allen for the basket, but Waynesville would go on to win this game. The final was 61-57. And I just want to go on the record and say we did not steal this ball from the game.
It was, again, Color 10 night at the Q. We got the game ball. You, me, Jennifer, Jamie, we got to go out there. Very cool experience. Good to see everybody out there, and the Bears won.
Bears won. That's all that matters.
All right, there we go. Final look at the forecast after this.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers. Cover 10 News will continue in a moment.
Our time is up, but again, great to be the station presenting the Bears game tonight. Go Bears. See you back here tomorrow. Good night.